Good morning. So, I got everything ready for the stream. This time I tested it before, so I hope everything works. So, who do we have here? Good morning, Stefan. So, alright, today's stream will be a little bit about client commissions and got everything prepared already here. It's a little poster commission for an upcoming game, and today I will focus on the coloring mainly, I guess, and see how far we will get. I guess I have planned like 2 hours, and I hope to get down mostly of the base coloring, which you can already see. Like I have a clown pass here and stuff going on, so it should be fairly fast. So we can also get into some details, but I also want to answer some of your questions if you have any about client work in general, because I know some of my viewers are newcomers or still beginner artists, so I'm happy to help out if any one of you got questions. But yeah, where do I start? Let me show you where it's all started. So this is the sketch that the client chose. It's a little space station where like a little astronaut is repairing his truck. This was one of the sketches I did send in. And this was another one, a little bit like a drag race in space with their trucks. But the client chose that one, I guess, because there's more options for details and little Easter eggs and stuff going on. And from there, I just went on and did a little bit more details, a little detail pass. Morning, Banan. And yeah, it just showed where it could go in theory, with like a little bit more stuff in the background, a little bit more details on the signs here and the trucks and the motor block. Also fixed some scaling issues, because I realized these trucks are massive, and the astronaut was way too big in the first sketch, so I had to go in and like fix it a little bit. And then I did a clean line art, which added another level of details, which, by the way, I had the luck that I got some 3D models that I could use and make a little mock-up in Blender, so we can make our life easier. Yeah, the colors are wild. I will go into detail what is going on there, but for now, yeah. This was basically a 3D model that I did. And it's a little bit of tracing, basically, what I do there, just because it's such a complex scene, and like making a 3D model really helped a lot with that whole setup. Because I started out and was like, let's make a little practice out of it if I have the time, and like try to construct everything with a perfect grid. And I was like, oh god, no, I saw the references, there's so much details going on. I was like, okay, that's just a waste of time. If the client already provided me with 3D models, I can use them also. So I had like a 3D model for the truck that I did a little bit of work on it. Then I did some buildings in 3D myself that I just put in the background for a little bit scaling. And yeah, then I took that and basically fixed my sketch on top of the 3D model. Did a little bit of the shadow pass, so I want to have like a really harsh light. And the colors, yes, this is a so-called clown pass. It's something I learned from some client gigs in the past. It's basically you make a really colorful distinction between planes and layers of the artwork that you can later go in and use kind of like a selection tool for like the different areas, instead of like always having to go in manually and draw everything by hand. You just have like the really colorful selections that you can use then for color picking, if that makes sense. Yeah, and this is where I am at now. Let me quickly see, let me turn that off. So parts of it I already did color, like the space station part here. Some parts are still left in their clown pass. And this is basically where we will start working on today. just trying to get like the trucks done, because the trucks have some really nice paint jobs in the game. So I was like, maybe this is something nice for today. And also like some of the signs have some typography and stuff going on. It would be like some fun stuff to work on. Also played around a little bit with lightning here. Because the guy here is fixing a broken part on the turbine here, as it looks. I was like, that could throw in some really nice light there. But yeah, that we will have to see later on. I try to separate the different passes, like shadow, coloring, and shadows. I try to kind of like separate that, so I have more control over it, how it will look in the end, instead of like doing everything one by one. Got some sad music. Alrighty. What shall we start with? I think I want to start with the sign to get kind of into the flow. I have some of my references open here. What layer is it? And as said, like I mentioned before in the teaser, if you got any questions about client work in general, how I approach it, just let me know and I will answer your questions. But let's get it rolling. This is the right layer. Get some gray. Maybe also open the reference here so we can see how it looks in the overall scope of the image, and you can also see what's going on. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. I take my Marty McFly brush from Stefan's little brush pack. That is like my favorite one I use at the moment. That gives a little bit of variations and lets some colors pop through. I feel I could also make that. Yeah, that works also. It's separated already. Perfect. Some darker metal for this. It's the best, dude. I love it so much. Like I also, which one was the other one that I used a lot from your pack? I think it was, I think Montgomery Burns. I also like that one. It's a little bit less gribbly. Depends on what I'm doing. John Grease was also really good. I think I used that for coloring from time to time. And Vincent Vega. Vincent Vega is also like, nice one. But I always try to not jump around too much with the brushes, because then it gets so chaotic. So on the reference, it's like this classical, let's say, Autobahn sign. It has like this kind of green tint. Yeah, it looks all right. A little bit more like this. Yes. Ooh, that looks good. I like that. Can also go in here and do that there. Get this. This is also like the clown pass makes it so easy to color. I mean, of course, you have to do the clown pass in the beginning, which takes also some time and depends how much layers do you want to have. But in the end, it's just like this thing called, how's it called in English? In German, it's like Malen nach Zahlen, painting after numbers. So you basically just have to like go in there, drag and drop everything. It's kind of relaxing, especially if you start early in the morning and you're like still clogged up in your head. It's just like, let's do some basic coloring today. Morning. For that we use the darker metal color. Oh, see, I have an extra layer for that. Interesting. Okay, now my clown pass doesn't work. I wonder why. Yeah, sometimes you see like my clown pass is not 100% working, so it's kind of, I don't know what's going on here. I can try to use the selection tool, but it's also not working, so I guess there's some overlapping colors or some stuff going on. Which in that case now is annoying, because of course now I have to go in manually again. Because once the values and the colors are too similar in your clown pass, or in general, like the colors that you have placed already, then it starts like bleeding into the neighboring colors, and also changing the overall value of some of the colors. Let's see if I can show it here. Here it works now. Interesting. Yeah, here it starts bleeding into the gray out of some weird reason. I mean, you can adjust it. You have this percentage threshold here on top, so you have to play around a little bit, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Oh, alrighty. Then good luck with the commission, and hope you can wrap it up. Is this? Do I have a reference for that? Do we have here? Trying to find the right references. It's really like really nice. The client I'm working for right now, he gave me like a huge asset pack, and it's always really helpful, because you don't have to like always go into new mails like, can you please send me this and can you please send me that, and it just like saves a lot of time, and you can just go in there and play around and find the right references for what you're working on. Do you choose the color palette or do message retracted? Okay. I give you time till you have the full message. Was the message retracted though because of me or because of you? No. A bit of both. I gave the client 3 options to choose from. So I made like, let me see if I have them somewhere. So I made some 3D renderings of the mock-up that I showed in the beginning. Oh, there it is. Do I have them here? Let's see, I can put them. Ah, perfect. Boom. All right. Where is it? Oh, that didn't work as. Where is it? Interesting. So, yeah, that works. So I made like I have this 3D rendering that I made, like the earliest one that I made, and I just threw in some space nebula asset that they provided me with, which already had like some really distinct colors. There were some really rough greens, some colors that some schemes had more like this really crazy orange. And so basically I made like 3 options with color palettes that they already have to choose from, kinda ish, and threw them into Photoshop and Blender and show them to them. And in the end they went for that one, for this more orangey desert planet vibe. And for now, I mean, the colors you see right now is just a clown pass, right? So this is not final, but in general, what I'm doing right now is I just use the base colors, the neutral colors, so to say, so that I can make sure everything is the color that it would be if the light would be not colored. And after I have that nailed down, I go in with filters and basically shift all the colors and values more into the orange, which the client choose. It just leaves me more room to play around and figure out the lighting situation if I'm not committing 100% right away to the color scheme that the client shows. It's a really, let's say, separated workflow. It's not like that I'm going like I paint and then I'm done. It's like I keep every option that might need changes later on open for me. It's just like something that I learned from experience in the past, that if you commit to something right away, you might run into trouble later down the line if something needs to be changed and you already have like everything merged into one specific style or color scheme. And also, I mean, this is basically a concept art workflow. You always keep options open, have everything separated on layers. Kind of like a 3D program would also work. Like 3D programs also render out things in different passes and layers, so you can always go in and tweak it. It's kind of like a really chill workflow. So, what is one of the destinations that you can write to? One is called Atlas Prime Harmony Link. Let's make a little typography for that. Add text. Atlas Prime Harmony Link. Let's move that here so we can work on that. Make it a little bit better visible. Oh, that was not the plan. Let's choose the typography. Kind of. Is that Helvetica? Looks like it. You can also use that one. That looks kind of similar. Nice. Do a little bit of the kerning, a little bit more space. Less. So what I do, which is absolutely unnecessary most of the time. For now I will use the typography as I have it here. But what I usually do with typography is that I go in, use my favorite brush, and then trace the whole thing. It just gives like this extra handmade texture, but it takes so much time to trace typography. In that case, because I can't spend like hours doing that now. It's also super boring to watch. I will just do it like that. It should be fine. It's a little bit smaller. Atlas Prime. Then we need a little bit of arrows. How thick are these arrows? There's double the size of that. here. Looks good. Oops, that was the wrong one. There we go. Here. Nice. That looks all right to me. We won't forget the typography we use. It was Avenir because I need to use it later on again. Not that we forgot which one we used. We want to have it consistent. So duplicate that just in case we need it. Can we delete it? Whoop. Scale that down. I hope though that everyone has a really nice day and really stoked to see so many people already joined the stream. And also, I'm still working on my next video drop. It's in the makings. I'm really into it. Like I think I need another week, and then a little bit of cutting and narrating, and then the next video will drop also, which I'm already also really stoked about. I hope it will. You guys will like it. It's a little bit more oomph down here. All right. Zoop. That looks good enough. Good enough. Maybe a little bit smaller because I also need to add a white border. Fuck. Why isn't it working? The video will be all about the most powerful tool in Blender, at least in my opinion. I think that depends what your focus is on Blender. But it's one of my favorite tools. I can spoil it already. It's the lattice tool. Absolutely love it. We'll also talk a little bit more about animating stuff in Blender, because in my last video I didn't talk too much about it, because animation in 3D is such a complex topic compared to 2D animation, in my opinion. 2D animation is usually, I think, easier to understand and get a grasp of it, but hard to execute, while animation in 3D is easy to execute, but really hard to get it right, I would say. And also like understand like all the different steps that you need to make it kind of work is in a good way is kind of weird. Does it make sense? I think so. Like it's easy to, I think like it's easy to throw in a bunch of keyframes in Blender and move something from left to right, but to make it look like really nice is so hard. And I still like, for myself, it's insanely hard. Especially when it comes to character animation. Like, I can't even make a proper rig. It's way too complicated. I think I want to give that typography a little bit of a used look. Let's make it more yellowish, tainted. Ah, yeah, way better. This is good. All right, what are some other destinations in the game? I'm pretty sure I had some references for that open somewhere. Let me quickly grab my reference folder. It's so funny though. Like I started doing more YouTube videos again because I was didn't have too many client gigs. So I was like, I have time, I can do it. I was like so excited to get more into it, and it's always like that. I got into doing videos and suddenly client gigs came around the corner again, which I'm grateful for. But now I'm like, damn, no, I don't have the time to do all the videos that I have the footage for most of them already. But it's just like getting them all cut takes so much time. So where is it? Road sign. Pitch deck. Ooh, I just saw like some of the paint jobs that some of the trucks have in the reference folder. That will be fun. Can't wait to get like all the details on the trucks itself. Come on, there gotta be some more road signs. I know I saw some. What's this? Loading bay. That's true. That's what I try to do. At least I want to try to do some streams. But I know that some people just enjoy the quick content. And a stream is usually so slow, right? Especially if you are such a sleepy nose as I am, that can't find the stuff that he's searching for. Where is it? God damn it. I knew I saw something. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. Let's come up with something ourselves. Beep boop. So we had Atlas Prime Harmony Link. Let's include some Easter eggs for the clients. Let's call it the Star Trucker Repair Bay or something. Let's make that this color. Choose the right typography. Ah, perfect. It's already in there. Star Trucker Repair 24. Perfect. That's good enough. Let's scale that up to the same size. Also good. Let's take this, scale it down. Works. That I can also use again. Copy paste, take that down, merge that, make that white. Oh no, wait, we have a color for that. It's this color. Clipping. I also need to do a video about Procreate at some point. It's kind of weird that I make videos about 3D when 3D is not my main tool. Like I mainly use Procreate, right? So one should think I would use that more as my tool of content creation, but I somehow don't. But yeah, I figure some video about some of the hidden details in Procreate would be something fun to do. I could imagine doing that. Sharing some stuff. I also really want to get into Procreate Dreams, the animation tool, but so far, I don't know, it was lacking so many features that I really need for an animation tool, and it made me so frustrated that I didn't get into it yet. Alright, that looks good to me. Yeah. Sweet. Now we need one more. Do I merge that? Yes, I merged that. Also gotta be careful with the amount of layers I work with, because the resolution needs to be really big on that piece, so I don't have too many layers to work with. Yeah, good old Procreate. In my next video, I will go into the painting on 3D objects in Procreate, and I recorded some parts of it already, and I already remembered why I didn't use it for UV painting. It's absolutely awful, especially if you work like me, because my 3D models are an absolute clusterfuck, and so the topology needs to be fixed so much that the second I import it into Blender, it's just like breaking apart. It doesn't work. It has holes, the mesh and everything, and I can't get it fixed. So I will try to incorporate it for sure. But man, oh man, oh man. Oh, terrible. Wait, let me show it to you. It was so bad. I was like, oh my god. What was it? Was it import? So it already starts like complaining about overlapping UV coordinates, which can't be because I'm 100% sure I fixed that. And then I have holes in my model and holes in areas which I don't understand at all. It's so weird. It's like, what is going on here? Though I gotta say, if it works, it's really cool. If it works. But also, this is also one thing. You can't make the resolution of the UVs big enough. So you always have this chaotic pixel stuff going on here. Makes me go crazy. Everything is pixelated. But yeah, I will get into that in the video. I think the UV maps are like max 640 by 640 pixels or something. Absolutely terrible. Okay, we need one more road sign. And I'm really sad that just to get back to the 3D topic, I'm really sad that Procreate never fixed that. Like, they implemented that feature at some point and never worked on it anymore. And I think it would work really great, but because in general it's kind of cool, but it just doesn't it's not final somehow. Oh, that bug again. In a second, I have to restart. do I call the next sign? So if poster spy, poster spy. That looks good to me. Also looks good. Then we steal that one again. Then we combine that, merge down, get that color, clipping mass, merge down. Are you using Procreate, Banan? Or what kind of tool do you use? If you draw. I actually don't know what you're doing mainly. Good. Which layer is it? It's this layer. Yeah. Ah, Clip Studio Paint, yeah. That's also a nice program. Clip Studio has also this 3D reference tool, right? If I remember. If I remember right. Oh, that's great. That's really great. I think I should try that at some point. I'm just so used to Procreate that I haven't considered trying anything else because it kind of worked for what I do. But maybe it's time to try out something else. Oh, you didn't test Clip Studio? Ah, the 3D tool, yeah. Okay. I mean, from what I've seen, it looks absolutely great. So, I know that a friend of mine, Davey Perkins, I think he used it for making some 3D bases for some of his illustrations, and it looks so good because you can also you can pose characters, if I remember right. Oh, that's really nice. Just to get a good base to work from. Alrighty. Now we have that. Let's work on a truck. I feel like working on a truck today. Now that I'm warm. So, which truck should we choose? This, with that, that. Ooh, there's a black one with yellow flashes on it. Ooh, but I think that's too dark, especially with the drop shadow. Maybe yellow, orange. Maybe I give it the white paint job I seeing here. That's a really nice one. All right, truck action it is. Let's get that bad boy. Let's make it easy. Nice. can also be like this and this. This can also be like dark metal. These ones are also dark metal. What else is dark metal? This is dark metal. This is a yellow paint job. Dark, 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 dark. This is also dark. No. Damn it. It's really fun. If you did like the whole clown pass, it's so fun. Procreate for Android? Oh yeah, that would be a dream. Or Procreate for desktop. Oh my god, that would be so good. Ah. It would be absolutely massive. I'm really certain that if Procreate would drop a desktop version, they would absolutely dominate the market for drawing softwares. I'm 100% certain about that, especially with all the letdowns that came from Photoshop in the past. Pretty sure they would absolutely rock that. Yeah, it is like that. That one can also be that orange. Oh, Jesus. What's going on here? Why is it bridging that gap here? I don't get it. That makes no sense. Ah, I see why. Okay, never mind. Now it works. Huh. How do I approach that the correct way? Say this is also the dark metal. Alright. What's this? This can be some lighter metal. Maybe like this. Oops, that's the wrong layer. Let's use this color. Base of the light, turn it a little bit more bluish, maybe like this. It's too light. That works. But now it looks too much like the metal. Dang it. I love them too, even though they will be less seen later on. But what you can also do, which I like to do from time to time, if you have the clown pass, which looks absolutely insane, if I have the finished coloring, I use the clown pass as a layer on top, glitch it out a little bit with some filters, and then just like let it appear in the shadows. It kind of adds this extra layer of color specks here and there to make it more alive and vivid. hard to find the right color for the windows. Alright, let's go with that. What I also like to do sometimes, because I have, let's see, where do I have it? Oh, I don't have them here anymore. Okay, never mind. Let's see. I know I have it somewhere. Where is it? Sketches, 3D base. Ah, there we go. So since I have a 3D base that I made in Blender, I can also go in and add fun stuff like that one here, which I absolutely love. If I remember right, this is the normal map of the artwork. So I can go in here later on and do some crazy stuff with some layers. Play around with it. It's so interesting, like it adds these extra specks of color, which I then can use. And it's insane, like how much it already pulls together the whole image. Like now it's like this, I don't know, M&M color candy store, and this pulls it really together. And also go in, do some glitches like this. Then I go here, lighter color, did this. This, for example, this is what I usually do at the end of an image. It's like it overlays into the dark areas and it gives this like extra speck of color. Absolutely love that. You have to be careful how you do it. It's a little bit manual process. But in general, I absolutely love it. Go in here. Get rid of some of these ugly greens. Like that. I mean, just look at that. It looks so good, like in the shadows. Like you can looks like a face. Gotta take a screenshot of that. What the hell? It looks like kind of like a crazy face. Like here's the nose. And here you have the eyes. And here the mouth. Oh, too good. But yeah, it's this is such a nice little neat effect to add at the end. I usually love to do that. Staring at my soul for real. It is like that. It's like, feed me machine parts. Oh. Right, here's my refs. Ref. Ew, what the hell is that? That does not look good. This is an issue here that sometimes happens if you use the Clown Pass as a base. It has these nasty corners. So you have to go in and fix them manually, which is super annoying. But yeah. Alright. Nice. Ah, see, they're also there. What the fuck? Oh my god, it also happened with the orange? No. Oh man. Double trouble. So now we need an extra layer for, where's the reference? Here it is, for the stripes. So it is a darker orange, like this. It's a little bit more reddish. That looks about right. Yeah. Alright, so where does it go? It's gonna be fun. So it follows along the line underneath that window. Damn, it looks way too high. Did I draw the window too high? No. I'm confused. Oh, maybe it is like that. It's just a perspective. Who knows? That line I can use as a guideline. Goes here. Nice. That goes through to. It doesn't because I removed that part. Dang it. Well, anyway. In theory, it should be visible inside also. Okay, I see. That goes here. 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 Is it also visible here? Yes, it is. Kinda-ish. Wait, where was I? Dang it. Where did I not? Where did I miss it? Oh, there. Find the hole. Oh. So the turbine is also a little bit more orangey. Ah, I see why. Now, looking at the references, I've realized that there's a lot of oranges in the concept art and in general in the whole game. So I'm not, in hindsight, I'm not surprised. The client shows the orange color variation. It will be absolutely tricky to get all these orange tones balanced, so it doesn't look like some murky pumpkin spice latte. What do I prefer more? That's hard to say. Though I think I enjoy the process of 2D animation more, but the results in 3D is usually what I like more, even though I'm not 100% where I want to be yet with my style in 3D. Let me think if I ever managed to mix 2D and 3D to like a degree. I mean, yeah, I use the glitch elements that are painted by hand, but that's not too much. Yeah, I think actually, I think 2D. I prefer 2D more. Which in theory, I could also make a video about it, talking a bit about that process. It's a lot of After Effects and stuff like that. I think I do enjoy 2D more because it's more like magic to me. Because in 3D, you really quickly see where it is going. So like you have this modeling, you have your animation, and then you just hit render. I mean, just. But with 2D, it takes so much little steps, and only really in the end you see how it works together. So for example, if I do frame by frame animation, it's a super tedious process of drawing each frame, and only in the end I see like, okay, let's see. Hello, Kels. Oh no, you can't sleep? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So I'm not sure if I should make my stream more sleepy so you can't sleep, or not too exciting so you stay awake. But you joined right in time, so we will have another hour of stream going today. Let's see if my reference works again. No, it doesn't. Another bug in Procreate that I don't understand. Why is it like this? Maybe I have to turn it around. Now it works. No. Why does it do that? I don't get it. Thank you. This is a client work. So I asked the client if he would be cool with me streaming that project. To give you a rough idea, it's basically a game about being a trucker in space, delivering stuff with your space trucks that are insanely huge, which I learned during the process. And the client gave me like a lot of different assets and references I can work with from different space stations and destinations. So I kind of like had the idea of how would it be if your truck broke down and you have to repair it in some kind of repair bay or parking lot. And in the background you still see like other truckers going through the scene and like delivering their stuff, and you see a planet down below. And just like some small Easter eggs and here and there. So that was the main idea behind that piece. It was really cool because the briefing was really loose. It was just like, hey, here's the stuff. This is how our game looks. Make something epic. And so I was really free to choose what I want to work on. And I knew I wanted to, of course, because the game is about the trucks, I wanted to have the focus on the trucks. So I gave the client 2 versions to work with. First I had like the idea, because there's also some kind of space portals, and I was like, maybe some kind of drag race, who can deliver their stuff first, coming through the portals, through a space nebula. And this was the other idea, and the client chose that one. I guess mainly because there's so much more room to play with details and Easter eggs and stuff. And it gives a little bit more sense of depth. Yes, it's a real game. I'm not 100% sure. It might be out already. Let me see. Let me quickly confirm that or not. I mean, this is not a sponsored stream, by the way, so I'm not giving recommendations if you should buy it or not. Let me see if it's out. Space Truckers. Oh, that's also a movie. Space Truckers video game. Oh, not Space Trucker. Star Trucker. Star Trucker. Yeah, it should be out already. Yes. So yeah, it's out, I assume, as I understand, right? I feel you. I was also the client was like, hey, do you want to have a game code for free so you can play? And I was like, I would love to, but I don't have any time at the moment. I'm like, I know if I would get into that, I would like lose myself and probably spend like weeks delivering stuff. And then I won't get the poster finished. But I was really hyped when I got the gig, because I always love drawing posters, and also it gave me like a little bit of a nice vibe between, not between, but like it had this vibe of how it's called, Death Stranding in space for me, without all the weird horror aspect. And I absolutely love Death Stranding, so I was like, oh, nice. So this might be something. It gets harder and harder with the age to find the time to play games with friends. I get that. So where's my references? Where is it? Ah, there it is. Sound like an old person when I say that. Oh, there's some yellow in it also. Yellow. Do we have a yellow? Yes, we have yellow. Sweet. Goes to the middle. I still, for example, try to find any time to play Elden Ring or like any of the newer Souls games, but they take so much time for me that I'm like, okay, I can't. It will just eat me up if I get into them. I also feel like, especially around this time of the year, time flies so fast. Like, it's already like end of November again. It feels like November just started. Getting anything done or organized is so hard. Yeah, I get that. It's like I also have the urge, like I want to create, but not at the expense of my sanity. Especially as when it happens, like you mentioned, like this staring at the screen and it just doesn't work. I think yesterday, yesterday evening, I worked a little bit on a 3D artwork commission for someone, and man, it just was so sluggish. I think it took me at least an hour just to make like a basic table, and I was like, okay, this is not gonna happen today anymore. It's just, I need to do something else. Sometimes it is like that. And I think it's also important to not get too hung up on that, because this is just life. This is how it works sometimes. Sometimes you just don't have the capacity or the mental room for doing something 24/7. It's a nice balance you need to find. Of course, with client work, you can't really choose. Sometimes you have to do it. So this is also a thing where you have to struggle sometimes. But yeah. For that, I'm really glad for client work. If I don't feel in the mood for it, I'm glad that over the years, I developed like kind of a workflow that makes it really easy for me to finish stuff somehow. Because otherwise I would go insane. If I have like an art block and have to do client work, it would not work. So having a workflow that kind of helps with getting through art blocks and stuff is really helpful. Because then you're able to always create stuff. That looks kind of wrong. That looks also wrong. Why does it look wrong? Alright, that looks kind of correctish. Right. Oh, still have some coffee left. That's good. A little coffee break. What do we have going on here? Something I would also love to have more time for is traditional art. I'm so into like digital art that I never find the time to actually work on some traditional stuff, which makes me really sad. But the process for traditional art is so slow for me that I really have a hard time to justify working on a piece that takes forever. Something like this. It's a little small canvas. It just takes too much time. And also, I do a lot of climbing. So it's always like, okay, what do I want to spend more time on? And then it's like, try to balance everything. It's really hard. Alrighty. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy. Like in the past, I love to paint a lot with like brushes and oil colors and just like more the traditional approach. But I think, I don't know when it was, maybe like a few years ago, I found these markers, Molotow markers, one for all. And they're like acrylic. It's like kind of like acrylic colors out of the tube, but you have it as a pencil. And you have like this tip here, so it's kind of like pencil drawing, but you get the result of an acrylic canvas. The colors are super opaque, so you don't have the issue that sometimes colors bleed through. You don't have that with them. So I really like working with them. What do you mean with how much it takes? How much time it takes to finish such a painting? That depends on a lot of factors. I have some traditional artworks that go super fast, like not even like an hour or 2 hours. But if I have like a fully blown colored artwork like this one, I think that one was also kind of quickish. Maybe like 3 days or so. It really depends what you want to do. Like for example, I'm working on that one right now. It's bigger in size, and I want to make it like really clean with a lot of different shapes and rendering. That one sits around for ages now just because I didn't find the time to get into it. That one will take probably like a week at least. Uni paint acrylic markers. Oh, I have to check them, yeah. Do you know if they're cheaper or something? Because Molotow markers can get expensive. Oh yeah, small sketchbooks. Sketchbooks are the best. I also have a stash of them. Like these bad boys. These are the best. You don't get the fear of like, oh my god, it's too much paper and shit. Even like the Davy Perkins sketchbook. It's really good because then you're not afraid of the white canvas. Stefan, you should use them. Your style would work so good. And you also should use them because they will dry up at some point. If you don't use them. Actually, you know what? Next time I visit you, Stefan, we will make a little canvas. I want to go to university again. Oh, dude, yeah. For that, for sure. That is something that I'm like, oh man, okay, the time I had during university to do stuff, perfect. But of course, then again, during university, I was broke, so I'm not looking back on that one. uh, Japan stuff. Dude, but I gotta say, like, I love pencils that are like manufactured in Japan. I don't know what it is. They just have it. Probably because of the mangaka scene is so big there. But man, all my favorite pencils and markers are from Japan. It's just they know what they do with the pencils. There's also, let me quickly move you guys around. Give me a minute. You will see my beautiful face now way too close. I'm sorry for that. These ones. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. Hello there. Pentel. I mean, probably Pentel. Everyone knows already. But the Pentel markers, they are so nice for sketching. They are in so many colors, and they have this brush tip that's a little bit bendy, but not too much. Fucking love it. And they also brought out the more brush pen version, which has like this really thin brush tip. It's so good. Oh yeah, Pigma Micron are also insanely good. Oh yeah, the Jelly Roll pens, they're also insane. But they discontinued some of the lines I recently saw, so I'm kind of bummed about that. And I'm sure it was one of my favorite pens that they discontinued. Where the hell is my favorite pen? I have one here, but I can't find it. Oh, these ones. Yeah, these ones. If you love mechanical pencils, these ones are the goats. It's the Pentel Orenz. They're insanely good. I never had a mechanical pencil where the tip never breaks. I don't know how they do it. They just don't break. So they brought you always some goodies from Japan. Man, I really hope I manage to make like a Japan trip next year or like the year after. And I already know I will stack so much like sketching stuff and buy so much of the stuff there. Just to save on the money if I'm already there. Imagine bringing back like one suitcase full of pens. And now we add the yellow here also. 100% sure they're like, what the fuck? Dude, chill. Oh. Thinking about it, it sounds like something fun to vlog. Like, if I go there and film some stuff for like a travel vlog, and then like film the situation at the border control, and they're like, dude, what the hell? It's like, I don't need gloves, I just need pants. Just give me the pants. Or you just put them all into your like jacket and whatever, because you don't want to have them in your suitcase for the weight. It's way too complicated how I do this. Alpha, no, not drawing, this is the alpha lock. There it is. Ooh, I really don't like that yellow. That is way too greenish. I like this. Yes, better. Perfect. Right, let's make that platform also more in that neutral gray. The pen man. Rattle, rattle, rattle. Kind of looks alright, I guess. It needs a little bit more contrast later on in the ground. The ground is way too flat. There needs to be some more action going on there. Yeah, that could work. Maybe shift it more into this color. Yeah, that'll do. And then some light effects around it. Then this could work. Oh, yes. Dude, with the blue, that blue light effect, really like that, how it's overlaying the shadows. That will work great. I already know it. So this is this is this. The tanks, which color do the tanks have? They have dark black. Alright. They have a light gray. God, so much metal. That will be so much work to wrong color. It will be so much work to get all the reflections nailed down. But it will be good. So I want to... The planet gives me anxiety down there. I have to color that quickly. something like this. I also just realized I will have to separate some of the line art and the coloring. I will have to do in the aftermath, because I want to have this it's called bluing, atmospheric bluing effect, where like everything in the background gets more like bluish. It helps to kind of like play a bit more with the contrast. For sure have to do that later on. Like this. For texture, I mean I mainly don't use too much texture. The only texture I use, I can quickly show you guys, is, do I have an example here? So what I usually do for texture, because like my artworks tend to be like super flat, right? So what I usually do is I copy the whole canvas, put it on top, go to glitch, use the signal. You already see it's introducing all these fragments. Something like, let's say something like this. Then I change it to like a really aggressive hue, lighter color, go to the curves, get rid of the greens because I don't like the greens, and then I play around with that. This is basically the texture that I use. I sometimes use a noise layer on top. With like a really light noise, like between 5 to 8%. Put that on multiply. That gives then a little bit of noise. It's barely noticeable. If you zoom in, you can maybe see it. But that's it. This is all I do. Because if you add too much noise, in my experience, it gets super, super pixelated. If you post it on social media. Because the compressors are like so annoying. Oh wait, or do you mean texture in a matter of, for example, discoloration or rust or whatever? Another spam mail. God damn it. If you mean texture that is like part of the artwork itself and not like overlaying something, then I usually do that also in the end. What okay, if you mean noise, so this what I just showed you with the noise layer is the basic version that I try not to overdo. Which I recently fell in love with a lot is risography printing. And there's some simulators for Photoshop. And they tend to have like really nice paper textures, a little bit of gribbly noise texture. And they look really, really good. I just run it through the plugin they have. And usually it gets some really nice results. I think I have an example here somewhere. So yeah, this is like the this is the artwork that I like from a series that I made, and it uses this regular base noise layer, as you can see. But What I don't like about it, it tends to like darken the image also, and then it gets too noisy when you uploaded it to Instagram, for example. So what I found is that, now let me put that in. Where is it? Toasted. Is that one? Yes, it's this one. Ooh, boy. Go up here. So I have this risography paper texture plugin, and you can see it looks, I love it a lot. It's like, I also don't try to overdo it, but it just adds like this really randomized paper discolorization, this paper texture, and it breaks up lines. It's really good compared to like this. So this is the noise you have with Procreate, and this is the noise with the risography printing. It's so much more like tactile. It feels more realistic, not so digital. I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah, like I think this is something that is hard to replicate in Procreate. I'm a diehard Procreate fan, but like getting this certain texture in Procreate, it's way too much work when there's so many options already in Photoshop for it. I mean, I can recommend you the one that I use, but that one costs some money, so I'm not sure if you like that one. But oh, how was it called? Risography PSD. Yeah, it's kind of expensive. It's 18 euros. But I post it here quickly. This is the one that I use. Yeah. So no financial advice, but you can either use just a paper color simulator or the actual risography simulator. Though the risography simulator is a little bit more manual. If I remember right, you actually have to separate the color channels of your artwork to make it work how it would actually also work in the printing technique risography. It's kind of a tool that you usually would use to simulate your artwork, how it would look if you give it to a risography printer company. It's not so much meant in a sense of, oh, now make my artwork fancy. But of course, it makes your artwork look fancy. I still have to release a risography print series. I have someone I can do that with and work with, but I didn't get around to decide what kind of artwork I want to use for it. Because usually artworks that are more monochromatic in color work the best, and that's not what my artworks are most of the time. They're like super color loaded, and then it gets really expensive. No, I usually go straight to color. Mainly because my mainly because I don't render. Like I paint super flat, so I just have the line art that I color, and the what I do usually if I go straight to color is that I basically would use the colors how they would look in a neutral light, like value 50% smack in the middle if you would open up a value curve. And from there I add shadow passes with multiply or like color dodge or screen to make lightning effects. Sometimes though I go in and do the classic black overlay thingy to see how the values are overall in the artwork, and there of course I can already see that right now the focal point, which would be this area here, is way too similar to what is going on here in the background. So what I have to do later on, which I also mentioned before, is like doing this atmospheric bluing where all the black values, lose that, where all the black values and gray values here in that area, these have to go down, like all the blacks have to be mushed more towards grayish so that the separation of the values works better. That's what I use grayscale for, but not in the sense of like I start painting in grayscale and then add colors. I did that in the past though, mostly when I wasn't working in line art. Where was I? I was with the truck. There we are. But I think this is just really specific to the workflow. I think working in grayscale, if your art style is more like a comic vibe, like how I do it right now here, doesn't really help that much. If you go for more like a traditional painterly look, then for sure. Then it would make sense to start in grayscale if you're not so confident in the value separation. What I like to do in the past is not work in grayscale, but in a monochromatic scheme that basically, because I'm mainly a character artist, I don't draw too many landscapes or stuff. So what I like to do is had this monochromatic approach where I worked in brownish, reddish tones that are most apparent in skin. So I basically worked my way from brown, beige up to like all the color variations that a human has, for example. That's what I did in the past, which is kind of similar to working in grayscale, I would argue, but a little bit one step further already, that I really like to do in the past. It's funny though, like the longer I work as an artist, the more I find myself skipping out on all the stuff that I started with, like rendering, making stuff look painterly. I more and more go into the vibe of just doing like flat colors, no rendering, and just having the story of the artwork speak for itself, which doesn't always need rendering. Might be because I'm lazy, but I think I rather have multiple artworks than spending like months on end on like one piece just rendering away. I'm just way too impatient for that, sadly. Way too impatient. Where's my references? I don't know how you guys feel, but especially with AI being so damn good at replicating this classical digital fantasy art look, which is probably the one thing that most artists start out with, I got even more lazy. I'm like, nah, okay, I don't want to render anymore because that is something that's replicated so easy. Yes, do it. Story in artworks, super important in so many aspects. It helps to find ideas for future artworks way easier. If you look for clients, it makes finding clients way easier, especially in the concept art industry, because this is what you then do day by day. And it doesn't take too much effort. You don't need to go like super crazy. Just some basic fun idea already does a lot. If you have like a world building project, for example, and then you think about some characters that are reoccurring in your artworks, and then you have this huge pool of ideas that you can always come back to and get creative. Also for like people that follow you for your art, it's always like it kind of builds a community. So people will have like maybe their favorite characters or their favorite moments in the stories that you repeat in multiple artworks, and they're like, oh, what happened to that character XYZ? And then you can pick that up and make a new artwork about that. But of course, the initial effort you have to put into like building a story or a world is of course bigger than just going straight into the process and draw something. So we have that. Is there some other metal? Let's see. There is an absolute great talk from one of my favorite artists, Evan Mela Munson, that where he talks about world building and building your stories, which helped me a lot get forward in my career. I think without meeting him and hearing him talk about world building and including stories in your art, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Would probably still draw random XYZ characters that don't make any sense, which is totally fine. But if you want to get like jobs in the industry, you of course have to put another focus on the whole thing. I mean, I can understand you, and as much as I would love to give you guidance what you should do or could do, right now it's terrible hard. The industry is so all over the place, and I really don't know. Like it's hard. Like I now started noticing a little uptick again in like client requests, But like the whole creative industry, like no matter where you look in graphic design, all over the place, chaotic. Concept art, we don't even want to start talking about that. Really difficult. Movie industry, even worse. Commercial illustration is also really hard. So I think the best bet right now is to build a foundation that will help you once things get better to find jobs then and make it easier. So what I mean by that is building a social media presence, be really thorough with posting stuff. A lot of the times having like a kind of like a narrative to the stuff you do. Being too chaotic can fine, but it usually doesn't help too much with like building a following and a presence. And I feel like it got more important for clients to see how well you are represented online, like having your own website, for example, also. But yeah. My world building project has gotten out of hand. Oh yeah, I know that. I feel. You should. If you like spend so much space and time and energy on a world building project, you should apply that to your career. Oh. But it's hard. Like it's one thing to do something for yourself and then do something with the focus of getting jobs through that. It kind of can like kind of fumble your fun in the whole process also. So it's always a little bit difficult. In what to do and what to do. That part was great. Gotta be honest, like I haven't worked on my own world building projects in ages, and I'm a little bit ashamed of opening some of the files where I lost them, where I left them. And it's like, oh no, there's so much stuff going on. I have like, I don't know, I think like 3 different projects at the moment, and I'm only working on one, and also not so serious, so it's a little bit chaotic. But since I mentioned it, let me post this thing I talked about. Where is it? I hope it's still up. It's one of my favorite lectures. World building. Evan Mail Amundsen. I wonder what that guy is doing. He's not so active anymore. Ha! It's still up. Perfect. Oh my god, 7 years ago? Feels like yesterday. Oh boy. Where do we have it? This lecture. Golden. It's hard to get back into it once you take a break because you gotta like refresh your memory on the story and sometimes like where do I yeah, it is. Definitely. Like this is why I'm only working on one of my projects, which is more like the crazy you can do anything you want project, because it's easy to get into. But I have like one with like multiple branching storylines, and it got to a point in the story where it's super complicated to kind of pull everything back together, where I'm like, okay, I gave up, whatever. It's just sitting there staring at me like, dude, what the hell? Why are you not finishing me? Finish me. See, that's what I meant with like the color drop tool. Sometimes it's like bleeding into the neighboring colors. Super annoying. It can also be more like this. That one too. Looks alright so far. Let's quickly fix that. Ooh, battery. Jesus, I need to charge my iPad battery. Alrighty. Oh, I have such a sore back right now. I did some training yesterday and also like got really into working on a 3D commission, and I got cramped up so much on my desk that I like now like my neck hurts and my back. Oh. So where's the reference for these bad boys? Ooh, they have a nice color. It's more like a dark purplish blue, a little bit more blue, like this. So this is this. Nope, wrong color. This. Nice. And the frame around it is also more like this. Beep, boop. Maybe a little bit more different. And then there is some rust in it. Rust. Let's make a little bit more red for rust. Yes. Oh, dang it. Why are you not working, color drop tool? Why you forsake me? This can be erased a little bit. Ah, that I can't do. That doesn't look right. Wait a minute. Ah, maybe I can. Put that here. Have to figure out that later. In the detail pass, a little bit like redacting some of the colors again and going back and forth so it kind of gets dialed in. Because right now it doesn't look right. It's kind of wrong. Maybe I tried already. Speckles of rust. And here too, it starts in the corners and works its way through the air, because that's how rust works. That looks about right. Same here. Some a little bit from the corners. Some flying rust. That looks about right too. It looks good enough for now. Looks kinda-ish like rust. Yes. So what is this color? This is more this blue. Whoop. And that is more a light metal, of course. That is the wrong layer. So, and the stone metal, whatever that is, it's more like a brownish color to it, I would say. Gray brown. That works fabulous. Great. What the fuck? Why? Ah, here, that layer. That for sure is now, so I have this blue here, but that needs to be balanced out later on. That's just too aggressive, especially when the whole artwork should be like orange. I mean, I can pull that together, but yeah, that's a little bit too much. That can also be more like this. That truck can be blue-ish. Is there another truck color that is kind of cool? Let's see. What do we have in the references? Client work, assets. Where are the trucks? Screenshots. There they are. If I do that, then the iPad will crush onto my face because I fall asleep. Imagine. It's just like slam dunking into your face. That looks so off, even though it's the color. Maybe it is time to make that one with the flames. Ooh. The flame truck in the background. Let's see, I selected that layer. How do the flames look? They look like... oh, there's a skull even in the flames. Oh my god. Okay. Not sure if I can do that now. Ooh, flames. Also needs to be this color. Do the flames go up? No, they don't. They stay low. But we can use the flow of the smoke, dust, or whatever that is. Nice. Yeah, that works. Gonna be the flamer truck in the background. Just a little speck of details. Ooh, oh, but like if you draw in the bed, you need like one of those tablet holders that like are above your head, so you can like draw like this. That would be dope. Imagine. It's kind of like funny to think about it. So this should be. Ooh. Wait, no, I drew on the wrong layer. No. Why did I do that? Well, now we have to commit. the wrong layer again. Zero gravity drawing, imagine. This is our future. This is where it's heading. Damn. Yeah. But I mean, I duplicated the whole project, so if I need the color mask, I have it here. So, lucky me. Let's just hope we don't need to do that. My god. Why is it complicated? And again. Jesus. Does it work now? Does it work now? It worked. Ooh, that doesn't look right. That I don't know about that one. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so we have that. That's gonna be such a fun to balance out later on. Oh god. Huh. Well. Alright, what time is it? Yo, it's time for me to grab some food. I'm happy where we got already with that. Solve some questions that play around a little bit with textures. Really happy. Got a lot of the focal point done, some details here and there. Yeah, that should be good. Can't wait to get that one like to the final stage. Yeah, but that was a little stream now about that, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm pretty sure I will do another one on the process of that artwork. Man, I just see in OBS how colorful it actually looks on the screen. On my iPad it looks so much more dull. Yeah, but I will do another stream for that artwork for sure. And will most likely give you some heads up some days before. And since the deadline is also approaching, I have to be quick. So I will probably work in between a little bit on it. And the next time you will see that artwork, it will probably be already close to be finished, I guess. But yeah. Happy that you guys joined. I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't follow me yet, follow me. So you don't miss out on the next stream and the next video, which also will be, I hope, end of next week or beginning of December I would say will drop. Yeah. So that will be coming soon too, and then hopefully really quick after that little vlog again with some random moments from the past months, talking a little bit about art, climbing, whatever pops up. Yeah, of course. Happy I could distract you from the thing you should do, sleeping. But I hope you will grab a good amount of sleep now. It's healthy. And I hope you learned something. And see you soon, guys. Bye.